Thank you for having me. Thank you for having us. Throughout a year that has been the hardest in my entire career, one that spans almost 2 decades, thank you for letting the community enter the room and vent our fears, our tears, and our hopes for the future. As much as I can say in 2 minutes, I've spent a good deal of the past year being quiet and listening. It's an important act in someone who not only considers herself an ally, but wants to be a good ally, as a human, as a friend, as a teacher. I listen to my friends who are Black, Indigenous, and people of color. I want to know what they are thinking and feeling, not filtered through a white person's opinion or delivery, not shaped by my own questions, but directly from them as they react to the things that are happening in the nation and the world, in Gwinnett. And we have a lot of growing to do. Our systems hurt people. The lack of representation in our systems hurts people. The lack of representation in our teachers intimidates our students. The lack of representation in our administration biases our disciplinary practices. The lack of representation in our literature inhibits future authors. The lack of representation in our history stalls future leaders. The lack of representation in our textbooks prohibits future scientists because there is magic in images and tragedy when students look for themselves and they aren't there. And this is just the tip of an iceberg of inequity within our system that is invisible to people like me. Until we are quiet, until we listen, until we shut out the propaganda that is easier to believe because it's more comfortable to conform to a crowd than to confront our common injustice. Until then, we can't see it and we will sink. The people most uncomfortable and resistant to anti-racist training are the ones who need it the most. For the good of Gwinnett, its people, its children, it's time to listen. Thank you.
Thank you, Deana Snyder.